sense. Why do I keep getting this wrong? No. Okay. Hi guys, my name's Anna and welcome to my channel, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about the 7 tips I have when it comes to goal setting. So, seeing as it's the beginning of the year, this video seemed very fitting, and before I start with anything, this is just a massive disclaimer that I'm in no way an expert in any kind of goal setting, life coaching things. These are just things that I've picked up over the years through mistakes that I've made, like books I've read and things like that. Before I keep rambling on, let's just get straight into the video. Tip number 1, setting clear goals. In the past, this idea of goal setting, I didn't think it was all that important. I thought it was okay to have a general idea of what you want to do or where you want to be in life and sort of go with the flow and you'll eventually get there. It worked for a little bit and it works for some people, which is absolutely fine. But for me, it started to not work. Over time, I started to realize that actually having something that you're working towards is very important, no matter how big or small it is. Because after a certain amount of time, what you start to do is undervalue the achievements that you are getting in life. Every year when New Year's comes around, we all set different goals for ourselves, whether that's I want to be healthier, I want to exercise more, I want to study more, or I want to completely change who I am as a human being. As good as it is to have a general idea of what you want to change, it's just simply too broad. It doesn't give you a set target that you can quantify, that you can measure, that you can track your progress with. It doesn't give you a chance to assess where you were before or where you are now. I mean, for example, I always say that I want to exercise more, right? This is a goal of mine that I fall off the bandwagon thousands of times. Exercising more can literally mean
climbing an extra staircase at the end of each day.
Is it an increase in your exercise? For me, yeah, it is. But am I going to be happy 6 months down the line that this is what I've achieved? No, I'm not. I need to set the goals of why I'm exercising. Do I want to gain muscle mass? Do I want to lose weight? If I want to lose weight, how much weight I want to lose? How many days I'm going to be exercising? For how long I'm going to be exercising? And when do I want to achieve this by? This gives you a chance to actually track your progress. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's important to have these broad goals. You can generally want to be a happier person, which is fine. You don't need to quantify that or track your progress in that. But for some things in life, it is important to have these. Tip number 2, write it down. I've heard it 1,000 times, I've read it 1,000 times, and I've seen it maybe once or twice. It is so important, and I think we tend to undervalue how important it actually is. Whether you believe in manifestation or not, it is key in bringing clarity to your own thought. And your brain actually gets into survival mode, starts to come up with ways that you can actually get there in the end. Vision boards are very helpful with these kind of things. Brainstorming, 2022 has been my year of buying hundreds of notebooks. Writing your goals down gives you a chance to actually have a constant reminder of the goal, have it stuck somewhere or hanging somewhere or as a reminder of your phone. Write it down. Tip number 3, be honoristic. Tip number 3, be realistic and honest with yourself. Now, the first step I like to take in this tip number 3 is evaluating the goals that I've set in the past. This will be looking at the ones that I've achieved and the ones I haven't. Now, an important part of this process is being very, very honest about the mistakes you've made. Often when you don't admit the mistakes to yourself, it's almost as if they didn't happen. But doing this can really, really help because then you avoid making those mistakes again. Another part that comes into play is having the idea of stretch goals. Now, whereas on one hand, stretch goals can be really, really good. On the other, I have a love-hate relationship with them. So what is a stretch goal? I had this teacher and, she said, okay, so what is your aim of achieving? What grade do you want to get in this subject? And I said, I wanted to get an A. And she said, always aim a little bit higher than where you actually want to be. Because if you're aiming for that higher spot, you'll be putting in effort that's equivalent to achieving that higher position. And if you're doing that, then you're 99% guaranteed to actually get what you would have been happy with. At that time, that was like the biggest epiphany I've had. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna just aim big for everything and then I'm gonna achieve everything that I want. As good as that is, I think sometimes that needs to coincide with being a little bit realistic. Because if your stretch goals are too far stretched, then they can make you feel quite demotivated. Because if you're never achieving a goal that you've set, then you're not gonna wanna continue. Tip number 4, break it down into small milestones. Now this quite possibly is my favorite thing ever, golden rule status, because it combines to-do lists and small achievements into one. Now, when you have a clear set goal, having that is absolutely amazing. But when you sort of look from afar, that this is where I am, and that's where I want to go, it is quite possibly the most daunting thing for me ever. You know, and for all the fellow procrastinators, overthinkers, I totally get you, because I can't. So breaking it down into small steps is the best thing ever, because I'm not thinking about like the 10,000 miles that I need to run in that marathon, which probably I'm never gonna do. But I'm thinking about, okay, I'm gonna go for a small jog today, and then I'm gonna increase the amount I'm going for the jog, and then I'm gonna jog a little bit further, and you eventually get there. Mind blown. Now, there's no set rule as to what kind of time scales you can have for these steps. If I put a goal into place, you know, I'll create a very brief action plan of the things I want to achieve in certain time scales. And I do that by keeping who I am as a person in mind and the type of goal I'm setting. A good rule of thumb is, you know, if you're not very dedicated, you're not very motivated, maybe set small tasks every day. Daily to-do lists are quite possibly my favorite thing in the whole wide world, because they almost put me and the to-do list
in a competition. And for me to win that competition is like the best thing ever, because I'm a very competitive person. So if that to-do list is winning because it has no ticks and it's not crossed out, I'm going to be very irritated. I'm really very sad. I'm going to be very angry.
Stop. And yeah, so that is tip number 4. Is tip number 5. Allow flexibility in your milestones. As amazing as it is when you are creating these action plans and you're creating these milestones, you know, to provide you with clarity and direction, it can become quite disappointing when you've set really tight deadlines for yourself. Because if you're not allowing flexibility, not only in your milestones and the steps you're taking, flexibility in your end goal. What else was I gonna say? I forgot. Whenever I make to-do lists, it will say, okay, everything's gonna happen like X, Y, Z. And I'm very happy and I'm going through my to-do list, and then something happens and it all goes out the window. Not fun experience. But what I'll do is I'll evaluate that the next day and I'll adapt it according to, okay, so before I was gonna do X, Y, Z, but I didn't finish A, B, C from yesterday. So how can I adapt my timetable to cater for the things that have happened? Not getting demotivated and not feeling like a failure is very important, because as much as I love being in competitions with the to-do lists, you know, I can transfer some of the tasks on to the next day. And then when you complete it, you feel even better. So stay with me, we're nearly there. Tip number 6, reward small accomplishments. Now this is I said the milestones was my favorite tip. Well, that is my favorite tip, but you know, this isn't that bad too. Whether that is going for an ice cream at the end of the day, reward yourself and look at the positives rather than the negatives. I think a lot of the times, you know, we look at all the things we haven't done and we don't appreciate how far we've come. Or if, you know, even sometimes if you didn't achieve it, reward yourself for trying. Or sometimes if you just didn't do anything and had a whole day in bed, that's also okay. I've done that a lot of times. Tip number 7. Wait, I forgot tip number 7. This tip is don't be hard on yourself, have fun, and feel free to reset honestly, just try again or have fun with this process. When I started this, goal setting journey, manifestation journey, or whatever journey you want to call it, if I wasn't having fun, or if I'm not having it, to be honest, in anything, if I'm not having fun, I lose motivation very fast. And if you don't get somewhere, it's all right. I've been trying to increase my exercise intake. I've been trying to increase the amount I exercise for God knows how long. But I still get back up and try again. And I know I'm probably gonna flop again, but it's okay. Sometimes moving away from a specific goal that you've worked so hard on and it's not giving you the results you wanted, sometimes moving away from that and doing something else for a while can help. It can give your brain the time to reset, to rethink, to see it from a different perspective. With this whole pandemic situation, people's plans and goals have gone out the window. And if you keep fretting about things that haven't gone your way, you're never really going to be happy with how things end up. So just be happy, have fun, and move on, honestly. If you stayed this long, well done to you, and thank you. That is a wrap from me for today. If you guys have any thoughts about the tips, if you've enjoyed the video or would like to see anything else in the future, do leave a comment down below. Give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I don't know where I'm going to put the icon because I've never done this before, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. So thank you and bye.